Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank the Business Day for organizing this forum and also inviting me. I was telling the MD, government is underrepresented in this forum. And when you talk about policy and this kind of forum, it's a yin and yang. It's a two sides of coin. You need the government to come up with the policies. And the government needs you to understand the kind of policies need to put in place. So firstly, the same way technology is disrupting the industries, we are also disrupting the regulation and policy making process. At NITDA, we started by reimagining ourselves within the ecosystem, because regulating technology is the most difficult thing to do. Generation before us never had to deal with this kind of situation. So it's not something we can learn from legal books. So it's something we need to co-create with the ecosystem. So to achieve that, we have to come with a regulatory intelligence framework, which has three cardinal pillars. Firstly, as a regulator, before you regulate, you need to be aware of the environment, the technology, the new things coming. And also you need to be intelligent in the way you regulate, because we don't regulate to stifle innovation, but rather we regulate to create markets. And thirdly, we need to be dynamic. You need to have existential threat flexibility. If you issue something and it's not working, you need to withdraw it and issue something that will work for the ecosystem. So in the framework, we look at it from two angles. Firstly, there is what we call a rule-based regulation and a non-rule-based regulation. A non-rule-based regulation is what we normally promote, because we don't know the use cases you are developing. So we allow you to self-regulate, put yourself together, develop the sector, and come up with recommendations for new entrants to comply with. So we use that to come up with regulations. And the way mostly we look at it as regulation is a rule-based commands that you must follow. No. At NITDA, we look at any intervention, government interventions designed to influence business, social, and market behavior. We call them all regulations. So to achieve this, we have four objectives for any regulatory instrument we are issuing. Firstly, it must create a market or democratize access to product or service. Secondly, it must protect consumers. Thirdly, it must enable innovation. And fourthly, we look at it, how can it improve service delivery. So all our regulatory instruments look at these objectives. So we have so many regulations in the area of policies, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and NDPR, like you mentioned. Even though NDPR now has evolved into a full law, and now we have a commission in charge of data regulation. But our regulatory instrument gave birth to that commission. So we look for more regulations that can create markets. Like also our approach today is co-creation. We crowdsource any regulation or policy making. We don't sit in the office, use armchair theory to come up with regulations that never works. So as we digitize, My major advice to you are three. Firstly, digital is about knowledge, talent. It's a knowledge-based economy. Your company is as good as its next product, and its next product is as good as the people who make it. So you need to learn how to attract, retain, and harness talent. We had an issue whereby in a bank, a CIO and some key staff resigned within few months. So we need to know how to retain this talent, because talent is the human component of the technology. And also, talent itself is a huge market. According to Conferry, by 2030, there is going to be 85 million talent deficit globally, which will result to $8.5 trillion unrealized annual value. So Nigeria can position itself to become the global talent factory, because we have all what it takes to become that. We have one of the youngest populations. Naturally, we are talented. We have proven this in the sports, in the music industry, and film making. So we can do the same thing in technology. You also need to look at how you can secure your data in the area of cybersecurity, because cybercrime is one of the biggest ventures today. According to cybersecurity ventures, this year cybercrime will cost the world about $8 trillion, which is bigger than all crimes combined together. So as you digitize, cybersecurity is very important. You need to look at your cyber hygiene, and also you need to look at what you need to build confidence and trust for your users. So we are working on establishing the national PKI, public key infrastructure, which can help in building that trust and confidence for all our digital services. So the last part, you talk about privacy. I don't want to say much about it because it is no more under NITDA now. We started by issuing the NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, in 2019, which created an industry. And because of that, the government has established a commission now, Nigeria Data Protection Commission, to take care of data privacy. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kashifu. Please, a round of applause to all our panelists.